All right, let's try this again. Third time. Here we go again. This time, hopefully, um, I won't have a problem. Can you hear me okay? I don't know what happened that time. First time I was getting a phone call, but anyway, that time I'm not quite sure what happened. Anyway, I posted the link. If anyone wants to come up and chat, um, you can. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Could you not hear me real well before? Hope everyone's having a good morning. It's pretty cool here this morning. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me good. It was drizzling earlier, and I think the temperature's like in the 60s right now. I think, or at least it was. Okay, good. Good morning, Freeside. How are you? Hope everyone enjoyed their weekend, their holiday weekend. It's now Monday. Feels like Monday too. I don't really have a whole lot to do today that I need to do today. Hello? Are you here?
Hey, good
There
morning.
you are. Hi. Good morning. Hi.
What's going on?
Nothing. Nothing really. No, didn't really have anything planned really to talk about or anything. I just felt like going live this morning.
Yeah, sometimes the bug just bites you and you got to do it. That's good.
hmm Yeah, I was feeling okay, and I'm awake, and so why not?
Exactly.
Good morning, Spoof.
Yay, Spoofer's here.
Yay. How about you? How are you this morning?
Um, I'm I'm awake. Unfortunately, I was up earlier this morning, and I've had 4 cups of coffee now. So yeah,
Oh,
this
wow.
should be a productive day.
Yeah, that's a lot of coffee. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been drinking very much coffee lately. I think it upsets my stomach. So it seems like the last few times we've gotten coffee when we've been out, Phil usually ends up drinking his and mine too because I usually only can drink maybe about, I don't know, maybe a third of it.
When we go out and we have coffee, I do 1 or 2 cups, but then like the big glass of water they give you with it. So,
Yeah.
and I've been learning to drink at least half of my 22-ounce bottle of water before I take like eggs or coffee. Really upset my stomach if I do them right at the beginning of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So after water, I'm like, now I can drink and eat those things. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go through that, first thing in the morning when they wake up. putting weird things into their stomach, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But some people it doesn't bother. Like Phil doesn't seem to bother him to drink coffee. He'll drink a big old coffee and drink mine too and be fine. But yeah, I love coffee. I like the taste of it and the smell of it, but that's okay. So I'm drinking actually. I'm drinking right now a Tropicana fruit punch, the zero sugar one.
Hmm.
It's actually really good. If anybody was interested in trying that and didn't know if it was good, it's actually really, really good.
I'm an orange juice drinker, and I don't buy it as much because lately it's been really ridiculously expensive for what I think orange juice should be. But I'll occasionally get some, and it's it's always a good thing. I like the taste of it.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I like orange juice too. I don't drink a lot of that either. I think that tends to bother my stomach as well. Probably the acid, probably, you know?
Yeah. I used to do the low acid coffee and the low acid orange juice. I didn't really notice the difference much in taste and quality. Just
Yeah,
the fact that it didn't really like irritate my stomach. So
right.
I had that for a long. When I had my ulcers and my before my stomach surgery, I had low acid everything that I could get a hold of.
Hmm. Well, that's good. You can still drink it and enjoy it, and So, any plans for today?
Um, just doing some cleaning around the house, waiting for my soundboard parts to come in.
Oh, okay.
Sometime between now and 10 p.m.
Oh, don't you hate that? Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing was, it didn't ship until today, so which means it was here in town,
Oh my.
and they could have dropped it off anytime, but we wait all over the weekend till Monday. So
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. I've seen like cuz I track, anytime I'm going to get a package that I'm aware of, uh I always track it, and I've seen it do some weird stuff. I've seen it like go way past here to somewhere else and then come back this way, you know?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird.
So like it says shipped right now, but it's not
Mhm.
even out for delivery. But I'm supposed to get it in the next 12 hours.
See,
It's
that's
just
weird,
amazing
right?
how things work. Because
Yeah,
eventually I'll be able to watch the truck. It's
right.
like 5 stops away. I'm like, this is the longest 5 stops. What are you doing? It's
Yeah,
like
that's
watching
funny.
like my my DoorDash driver. Like, where are you going? Like that's away from me. Come back. I'm
Oh,
like
that's
coaching
funny.
him to the screen.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
They say it's logistics, but I'm like, there's no logic involved here. I don't understand it.
No, I don't think there is either. I think it's not accurate. It's not up to date, maybe, or I'm not quite sure, but I know I've had the same thing, just such weird. But I know the last time I had something delivered, it went like way, like it was like it went literally went by here and went 2 hours away and then came back this way.
Yeah,
And I just thought that was so strange. And then I got a message saying, "It's at your post office if you wanna go pick it up." And I'm like, "Okay, so now you're telling me I have to go pick it up myself?"
we just dropped it off there. We're done for the
Mhm.
day.
It's so funny. Yeah. Gotta love the mail system.
Yeah, yeah. Not much to do today. Just a little cleaning and organizing and playing around with that when it shows up.
Yeah, me either. Not a whole lot of anything. I might like to try to clean I was thinking about cleaning the refrigerator probably later. Um, Phil's still sleeping, actually.
God, I
Uh,
swear, man.
I'm surprised he's sleeping because I'm talking not too far away from where he's at. And so don't be surprised if all of a sudden he comes in here and says, "Who are you talking to?" Because, yeah, he'll hear me talking to myself in here. I know the other night I did a short live too, and Dolly came up and said hi. And I think he was like thinking he was dreaming that Dolly was talking. And I said, no, she was really talking. He
That's
really did
hilarious.
hear her voice. Yeah.
You know he's listening, right? I mean, he's hearing us, right? He's just not processing it right now.
Maybe, or he might even be in here. He might be a lurker. Are
He
you
probably
lurking?
is.
Are you lurking, Phil?
Anyway, so back to trash talking Phil. Blah 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 blah. That'll get him up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'll wake him up maybe.
It's good to see you go live. I like it.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm planning on being a little bit more active on this channel. Um, I decided that I wanted to, so that's what I'm gonna do. So sometimes it'll be just talking, and sometimes it'll be maybe watching me do art stuff or something. But I'm going to try to maybe at least maybe once a week go live. I really
That'd be
don't.
good.
I don't really want to commit to anything really, but that's what I'd like to do, But
Yeah.
sometimes what we'd like to do and what we're actually able to do sometimes are two different things. So, but that's what I would like to do. And if I can do that more often, then I will do that, you know. Because I have a nice quiet place here where I can come in here, I mean, I love going live with, Phil too, and I'm hoping that we can do more of that, but I don't know. I think it feels weird when you've not done it for a while. It just, you kind of, it feels weird, you know. It's like, what am I going to talk about? What do I have to say? You know, and if you
I
hear
take
some
notes
noise,
about things all the time, but I don't talk about half the stuff, and I don't know. I look back, I'm like, oh yeah.
right? And if you hear some noise, it's my cat.
No, I figured.
Okay. If you hear some jingling or anything, because I think she just realized that I'm not where she thought I was. She has, I don't know. She likes to be close to me, I guess. Yeah. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi. So, but yeah, I'm hoping to do that. I'm hoping to be a little bit more active over here on this channel. I would really like to. And like I said, I don't know, like I didn't even have anything planned this morning, and and I think when you haven't done it in a while too, it kind of makes you feel kind of, oh, my God, what am I going to talk about? And it's almost, you kind of feel a little awkward. Um,
Yeah, there's a certain pressure to have something ready, I guess, and it kind of makes you feel better if you have a topic, but sometimes just chatting just to break the ice and get all the cobwebs shook off, and then you know you go from there.
yeah, and I'm fine with that, and or people talking, and but it doesn't look like there's anybody really talking right now. But but if people are talking in the chat and things like that, asking questions or whatever, that always helps. But hello, Evelyn.
No, she follows me here everywhere. She followed me everywhere today. Uh,
I hope you have a good day today, Evelyn. Is it raining there, Evelyn?
Hell, we're even going to get some rain, I guess, from Beryl.
You know who he is. You're
Yeah,
gonna get you're gonna get rain too, Jeff?
yeah. It's supposed to barrel up through the barrel up through the
Oh,
Midwest into Ohio probably Wednesday, Thursday, I think.
oh wow. Yeah. Looks like a lot of people are gonna get some rain and other kind of weather.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree, Evelyn. It's kind of nice change from the heat, but I think sometimes that makes it so um, humid.
Yeah.
I don't
If it
know.
rains all day, it's fine. But if it rains in the morning and then the sun comes out in the afternoon, it's like total humidity. and just a bake fest.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I don't I don't care for the heat very much at all. And it does get hot here. It really
Yeah.
does. It's a different kind, of heat than California for sure. To me, it is. Um, I mean, we have humidity, but I think it's different here. And I always have, I prefer, fall and winter.
hmm Fall's my
Spring.
favorite.
You like fall too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like spring too, like early spring, I think. But once it starts getting, starting just to get into summer, I really don't care for that too much. Yeah, rain is nice in the summer, huh, Spoof?
Take it while you guys can get it. This is probably the last rain you'll get for months.
Yeah. I think the high today is supposed to be only in the 80s, I think, which is cooler than it's been the last few days. It's been, you know, really, really pretty warm. Matter of fact, on 4th of July, there was a storm, and uh, this town and other towns nearby were all supposed to have like a fireworks show. It was canceled because of the
Mm.
storm. Yeah.
Well, that Martina McBride concert that I spoke about over the weekend, it happened, but like it was perfectly timed between a rainstorm and a thunderstorm.
You
The
went to the
concert went
concert?
on the full amount, but they were like right nestled right in between, and then just enough time for them to clear them for fireworks.
Did you go to the concert?
No, no,
Oh,
no, because I kept looking. I was like, we're gonna be outside, and it's gonna rain like crazy.
right.
I was pretty sure that it was gonna time up, but they got lucky. So
Sorry for my climate. Yeah, Washington. I like the weather in Washington. Some people don't care for all that rain and whatnot, but I don't know. I like it. I don't know. I think some people think like depending on like what time of the what month you were born in and things like that, that you prefer. No, I don't think it has anything to do with that because I was born in the summer and I prefer winter and fall. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't know. It's personal preference, I suppose, right?
I always, I think I always like fall because it was like renewal because like school started and like it was like spring, but like you know, for kids it was like new friends, new school, a new start,
Hmm.
and it was much cooler, so you could hang out with your friends. I mean, we did all summer, but when school started and got like down to 50s, you were like, okay, I can do this. Yeah, I can walk to school without dying, heat exhaustion, or
Right.
we could do, be more comfortable. Of course, you had to have the new clothes,
Oh
so you had
yeah,
to show those off. So
definitely.
and the leaves falling, and it's just the whole, the ambiance of it was, yeah, it's always something that stuck in my head. Even to this day, I kind of like fall just for that. It's almost like I know it's like a weird thing because renewal is usually spring, and I love spring for that, and winter's good because I don't mind the cold, but summer's
Right.
like, no.
Yeah. Definitely the new clothes and all that. Such good memories. I mean, I think I would get new clothes 3 times in the year. Usually
Yeah,
like usually like around Easter. Then and then that would be like spring and summery type clothes.
right.
And then back to school, of course, which was usually in September. And then new clothes then around usually between like Thanksgiving break and Christmas break in there, new
Hmm.
clothes, you know, because it wasn't like I was living in a place where there, was snow or anything. So it wasn't like, I had to prepare ahead of time and get boots and jackets and, heavy coats and hats. And, so it was usually winter clothes we would usually get between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
But 3 times a year, I remember. Yeah, but I loved all that. I think maybe most girls do. Uh, Boys probably don't usually like that.
Well, mom always made it an adventure because we took the bus downtown and we went shopping where she used to work, and then we'd have lunch and we'd make a day of it. And yeah, but I would, like August, mid-August, because we had school start like around the 28th of August usually, and we would get all of my school supplies and school clothes and winter clothes in August.
Oh, wow.
And then I would get some clothes for Christmas. And then my birthday, we would shop for things like, new shoes, um, summer clothes. And
Hmm.
then from March to August, I would, have my summer clothes and just repeat that cycle each year.
Right. It's interesting how every family, I suppose, has their own way, doing things. You don't have to say which store, but did your mother work at a department store?
Yeah, it's called Lazarus.
Oh, okay. My mom also worked at a department store. Um, Actually, a couple different ones, and we'd go shopping at those stores usually too, uh, where she was working at. One of them was called Robert's Department Store,
Okay.
and they're I don't believe they're around anymore at all. I think they've been gone probably since the 80s, maybe, or probably since the 80s or early 90s. But we used to go shopping at that store a lot because, well, of course, mom got a nice big discount, you know,
Hmm.
because,
Yeah, sure.
you know, so, and of course, there was a lot of, Sears shopping and Montgomery Ward's. Um, Back then, a lot of those stores, well, I think Montgomery Ward's is only like online ordering now. I don't think they have actual stores anymore. And I don't think Sears is that popular of a store anymore either. Or maybe they're not even around. I don't know. I know I don't see any around here.
We've got one, I think. It's still at the main mall here in town. We have two big malls, and I think there's only a Sears at the one. It used to be a thing because we used to have a connected mall. It had Lazarus, J.C. Penney's, and Sears, and I
Interesting.
and they were all interconnected. The mall in between,
Right.
connecting each one, and I could always tell what we were going for because we went all the way around the mall. We're going to Sears, and Dad needed something from the tool department
Oh, wow.
because all he bought was Craftsman.
Oh, okay. And I think, isn't that the only, is that the only place you can buy Craftsman
Yeah, I still
in the
think
US?
yeah. It's like it's guaranteed for life. You get your tools here. I'm like,
I,
okay.
s- I still remember they had like a candy, like, and nuts booth, if you will, set up in the middle of like Sears,
Yep.
where you can go and get a pound of whatever or half a pound of cashews or um, that was always the best part.
Yeah, we had what they called it the Nuttery, which is a terrible name now, but right outside of right where the three anchor stores kind of like met, and there was like this common space.
Oh, wow. Hmm. The Nuttery, huh?
Hmm. No, like as a
Yeah.
kid, I'm like, yeah, peanut butter stuff, yeah, cashews, yeah. Now I'm like, no, I don't know what they mean by that now.
Yeah, I remember like nuts and candy and popcorn, I think, like popcorn type mixes and things like that.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Okay, so Spoof says that they sell Craftsman at Home Depot and Lowe's now. Okay, well that's good to know. I don't go in those stores much, but that's good to know. I don't even know if Sears is even operating anymore. But now the store that your mom worked at, was it like one of these fancy stores that had like, you know,
The big picture windows.
yeah, that and like a restaurant inside and things like that?
Yeah, they had something called the Chintz Room, which was
Oh,
like a smoking lounge and had bathrooms and had like places for people to sit and relax because, 6 floors of shopping wasn't enough. You needed some place to sit down and relax. The cigarette machine, the pull out tab thing, you put your money in, you get pull the thing, and there's your cigarettes, and everyone was smoking.
oh
Then it
wow.
had a nice restaurant called the Colonial Room,
Hmm.
and it was right next to the stationery department where she used to work. And yeah, it was 6 floors, and they always had this. She had to decorate everything for Christmas each year, so they started in like October,
Oh my
and
goodness.
and then she had like 10 of those storefront windows to decorate for Christmas. So they had to plan all that out and physically go and put all the stuff in the windows and stage it.
Wow.
She she loved that. It was like anywhere from like mid-September to January, 10th. She was busy with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would probably like doing that too because I would it would be like each window was like its own little like scene. You know what I mean? Its own little, you know, like a
One
scene.
year they did like the 12 days of Christmas,
Okay, see? Yeah.
and they with 10 windows, they were like, "Well, what do we do with the last two?" And she's like, "Right inside the door, one on the left and one on the right." Like, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's great. Yeah, that's interesting. Uh, the people that owned the home that I had bought that I was living in California, one of my homes, um, the lady that lived there was that's what she did for a living for years. And I I had gone to the house and looked at it around Christmas, and I could tell that this lady was really talented because her home was really, really decorated. And then she had shared with me that that's what she used to do for a living,
Oh wow.
like at
Hmm.
a big department store, kind of like a Nordstrom type place, or something like that. Um, but I remember, I was gonna share that, I remember good times of, my grandmother also always bought me a bunch of clothes, so I take back my mom always bought me clothes 3 times a year, but grandma always bought me clothes every time I went and visited her. But anyway, she loved to go to this store that's no longer around anymore either, that's called the Broadway, and it was a fancy store, uh, with a fancy little restaurant inside of it, and we would go and have our fancy little lunch. I was just a kid when I started, going to lunch with her like that. And I think I can remember as young as like, 7 or 8 years old, but I would be all excited, get all dressed up, and go to grandma's and get to go and have, a fancy ladies' lunch. Sometimes it would just be my grandmother and I, and sometimes it would be some of her little friends.
Hmm.
And, but, good memories of that, of eating, in that restaurant. And, I think the only thing I can compare it to is it was probably like a Nordstrom's or something like that too. Although I don't know if Nordstrom's has, restaurants in them. I don't think they do. Or maybe
The
they
ones
do.
the ones here don't. The ones, at least the ones I've been in, there's like three here, so we go overboard with our placement of stores sometimes. But I've never seen one in the two that I've been in.
Hmm.
There are Sears locations. I just looked it up.
Really?
They're in 5 states, 11 total. There's one in
Wow.
Puerto Rico,
Oh my.
Florida, California, Massachusetts, Texas, and Washington.
Wow. Huh. Interesting. There's
See,
just a
they
few
can remember
holding
that.
on. They're
Yeah,
holding on.
remember they got bought out by Kmart,
Yes,
which
they
was
did.
surprising as hell to me. I thought it was an April 1st joke, like, oh yeah, Kmart bought out Sears. I'm like, huh?
But
Really?
did that really do anything? I mean, did that really take
No,
off and do it didn't, did it?
no.
Yeah, because I kind of think I remember that, and I remember going into a store that had it was taken over by the Kmart, and it just seemed weird in there, like the
Yeah,
stuff that they were selling, and it just seemed strange. It didn't seem like, didn't seem like a Kmart, and it was really weird because they were selling groceries, and Sears never sold groceries, and so
no.
that seemed weird, to me. But then I don't know whatever happened after that. I think it just kind of just went away, and actually I forgot all about it until just now when you mentioned that.
Yeah, you can always tell the old Sears when you go to like these old malls in these smaller towns. Like when we went to go to view the eclipse, we went to this small town and there's like this mall and it's just abandoned, but you can still see the outprint of the Sears sign where they took it down, and it's just kind of like, ghost of a sign there. It's like, oh, that used to be a Sears.
It's funny. You can still see the remnants of it.
Hmm.
I know, and then some things always seem so weird to me when I was in California. Like some things seem to have like gone away and then came back. Two things did that. One was Shakey's Pizza. It went away, came back. I don't know if you all have ever heard of Shakey's Pizza,
I
but
haven't. No.
they're famous for their fried chicken and Mojo potatoes. And the other thing was Farrell's ice cream. I remember it was also around, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with that.
We had one
Farrell's.
here.
You did? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I remember it from the 70s and then and into the 80s and whatever. And then it went away for a while and then it came back and then it went away again. So some things do that too. And that seems so strange to me.
Yeah, ours was in the 70s and 80s.
So around that same time. Yeah. Yeah. I remember going there. My mom would take my brother and I there, and we would have birthday parties there sometimes. And I remember you would order that uh, ice cream that was huge. It would feed, however many people. And I think it was called like the zoo. And it had all those little plastic little monkeys and little plastic little elephants and all over the top of it. And I think when it was your birthday, they would play like there was like an alarm that would go off, almost sounded like like a fire alarm, and it was a fun place as a kid. As an adult, I don't know if I'd enjoy it too much, but as a
Probably
kid, it was fun. Yeah, I'd probably be like, it's too noisy in here. I don't like it. Yeah.
not. Last one closed down 2019.
Wow. I probably know which one closed down too. I probably know. It's probably the
Brea,
one where?
Brea,
Brea,
California.
Brea. Yep, Brea,
Yep.
California. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it was there at the corner of the shopping center just down the street, and it was there was a York Steakhouse, and York Steakhouse they just closed the last one here in Ohio a couple weeks ago, and there was Bonanza and Ponderosa, and all three of those fought like for like the steak business back in the day,
Was
and
that Bonanza Steakhouse?
yeah,
I think they used to have those in Arizona.
yeah, you go there for Sunday dinner or whatever if you didn't want to cook, and they had the buffet and everything, but um, none of those places had dessert. So no matter where you went, you'd end up at Farrell's for ice cream. It was just like a huge crowd there all the time.
That's so funny. I'm trying to make people mods in here and I don't know how. Isn't that weird? Maybe I can't do it from in here.
You gotta do it on the YouTube side.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, what I wish StreamYard gave the shared some of the abilities. I guess they could, but well, YouTube probably won't let them.
Yeah, probably not.
It'd be nice to do one thing, but all the things from one screen.
Well, I mean, I can't even go live without using StreamYards because I don't have enough people, enough subscribers.
Don't you need
So,
50?
yeah, and I do have that, but for some reason it still won't let me.
Oh, weird.
It is weird, isn't it?
They're
But I
so
may try it.
strict.
I know. Who knows what it could be anything. I don't know. I've done everything that they've asked me to do. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else they want. But I may try again, maybe later to go to see if I can. Because I know I didn't try it this morning, but I did, I think yesterday or the day before. I looked and it still said that I didn't have enough people. But I have
Wow.
50. So yeah, maybe it's the settings, huh, Spoof? I'm wondering what it is that could be in the settings. I'll have to look to see if I can figure it out, or maybe I'll have Phil look at it.
I've never been a big fan of the YouTube going live experience. It just seems rather, I don't know. It's just the interface isn't something I appreciate. I guess I like more control over things. And I don't like it when it automatically privates your stream when you go live.
Yeah,
Like when you shut it down, it's like who wants to go in there and put it, public or whatever?
yeah,
Should give you a choice.
right. But maybe some people like that, maybe that it just automatically does that. But yeah, I think it should at least give you a choice what you want to do, right? So make things easier so you don't have to go back in there and change it. Like I feel like I should be able to make mods in here too, but I don't know. I guess not.
They don't want you to be that powerful.
I guess not, right? But that's okay. I'll figure it out.
No, yeah, Spoof's talking about the 24-hour wait. Yeah, it's like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's been over 24 hours, so I don't think it's that. It must be something like what you're saying, something in my settings or something, because it's been over um that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look, or if I can't figure it out, I'll have Phil look at it and see if he can figure it out what's wrong. I mean,
I
I'm glad
can't.
I can at least go live, using StreamYards, but I'd rather just use uh, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, unless you're gonna have people come up and talk, obviously, but
Yeah.
I hear you, Carmen.
She finally went. Oh no! What do you? That was. She walked over to me, and now she's going to go back in the bedroom and lay down in the bed. I bet. After rearranging all my pillows and the blanket.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they do that.
She's so funny. She has to know what I'm doing all the time, and if I'm too quiet, she thinks something happened, and if I'm too noisy, she comes in thinking I'm going to feed her something that I'm making. If I'm making breakfast, she thinks she's getting half of whatever I make.
Yeah, us too. Anytime we go in the kitchen, cats think they're getting fed. If they hear like, the can opener go or anything like a top pop off of something, they
Yep.
think, "Oh gosh, that's my can of food." Yeah, they're like that. Yep, they come a running.
She doesn't do anything cute like making biscuits, but she does like to use her nose to shovel the covers right off the bed. And then she drags my pillow in the middle of the bed and lays down on it.
No biscuit making.
Nope.
Wouldn't that
She's
be
not that
cute?
coordinated.
Wouldn't that be cute if dogs could make biscuits too? I know. I don't.
She does the patting thing sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but then she bends her paws underneath and it makes me uncomfortable. I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts me just looking. But she's all like really prissy, and she sits up with her paws bent underneath, and she thinks she's special.
She is special. All animals are special.
Well, I don't tell her that because
Can you hear
she's
me, Karma? You're special.
Carmen. You can't hear them because that's why Daddy wears headphones, so you don't hear all the positive.
I agree, Evelyn. It does hurt. It does hurt when they make biscuits in certain places on you. It hurts.
Hey, KK.
My babies are all good. All my furry babies are all happy and they're happy. Hi, KK. Nice to see you. Happy you're here.
I talked about getting a cat the other day, and instantly Carmen's up there in my face, like, "Excuse me, sir, what? No, no, this is my place. I'm not
has she
sharing it."
has she been around cats?
Um, Once or twice, she is fascinated by them, but she doesn't like instinctively chase after them or try to mess with them. She usually tries to coexist with most things except for squirrels.
Yeah.
Rabbits, she's fascinated by. She just stares at them, but not like she's gonna go run after him. Like, what is that?
I haven't seen any bunnies around here. A lot of squirrels, but no rabbits. Where we were living there was a lot of rabbits, and I would think there would be a lot of rabbits here, but there's not. There's none at all. Haven't seen not even a one. A lot of squirrels though, and the squirrels here look different than the squirrels in California.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of scrawny here. Their tails aren't as bushy, and they're a lot thinner, um, and smaller. Smaller,
Yeah.
I would say. Not as bushy of a tail, um, and their bodies are a lot thinner. And I would say they're about the same color. They're almost like a bluish gray.
Ours get really skinny, especially like winter to spring, and then you'll see them bulk up a little bit. And then by summer, I don't know what happens. Their tails are like almost, you know, more bare than you'd think would be good for them.
They're getting ready for bathing suit weather.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Gotta look good.
That's the only
Squirrel
thing I can
diet.
think of. Squirrel in a bikini. You see that? A
That.
speedo.
Oh
Girl
my
in
god.
a speedo.
That would be hilarious.
That's interesting, Evelyn. No squirrels in Hawaii, and honestly, I've not really paid attention to that. A lot of roosters in some areas of Hawaii. A lot of roosters for sure.
We have a civil deer population. What I mean by that is they've gotten ran out because of recent construction and city building, as we call it. So they just come in the neighborhoods and they'll just walk down the street. Like one day I'm loading up the car for something, and one just walks down the sidewalk, stops, looks at me like, "You got any food?" I'm like, "Hi," and just keeps walking down the sidewalk like it just heading to the store or something. And they're just out and about everywhere in the neighborhoods.
I haven't seen uh, many deer here either. I'm really surprised, but I haven't seen. I'm trying to think. Haven't really seen much of any wild animals here. We have way more where I was living. Trust me, there was every night there was a field by my house, and uh, a big empty field, and every night I would hear coyote out there, and I mean lots of them. I mean, not just one or two or 10 or 12, probably, I don't know, there could have been 50 or more maybe out there. I don't know. But lots of coyote, lots of squirrels, lots of skunks, um, snakes. Although we did have a snake here the other night.
Yeah, that was interesting. Um, we have coyotes at the dog park. There's the dog park, and then there's airport land,
Mm,
and there's a lot of grass and woods between the two. So the coyotes are always like going back and forth watching the dog park, and actually a couple smaller dogs have been snatched um,
wow.
once they come out of the dog park,
Mm,
like later at night. Like you can hear them like
yeah,
anywhere like half hour before sundown. You can always get like a sense of presence, and you can hear them walking through the woods on the edge
yeah.
of the dog park, and they're just basically waiting.
Yeah, I would hear them at night in that field because it was so quiet. Where I was living, it was really quiet. And you could hear when they probably got something, and they would just get
Yeah,
really loud and really, oh, it would just give me such an eerie feeling. I didn't like that sound at all. I did not like that at all, that part of it. So, but I know that, that's what some animals do and circle of life and all of that, but still, I don't like it. Let's see, anywhere on Oahu. Oh, yeah. Also, Kauai, too, full of roosters. They're everywhere. And the wild rabbits. Oh, oh, I love the little tiny bunnies. They're so cute.
we've got really long rabbits around here, or they're just extremely long.
Are those like
Um,
jackrabbits?
well, I'm sorry, where what?
Are those like jackrabbits then? Are those like different? They're
No,
jackrabbits?
I mean I've seen the smaller ones, and I
Uh-huh.
see there's a well, like we consider would be a normal sized rabbit, but some of these been eating their Wheaties because when they stretch out, it was really
Mm,
weird because when it was really hot, they would stretch out underneath this tree. I've never seen a rabbit do that, but they're trying to cool off,
wow.
and they're extremely long for, I guess. I mean, I really haven't looked at a rabbit for for a long period of time, but they're all like bunched up when they're sitting, and then when they go to run, it's just really huge.
Wow.
They're eating good though.
They're what?
They're eating good. Someone's
They're
feeding them.
Oh, somebody's feeding them. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't where I was living at before I moved here, when I was living in California, there was an older lady that lived on my street, and her house backed up to that empty field where the coyotes were.
Yeah.
And her husband had long passed, probably way before I had, bought that home, and so I didn't know her living there with her husband. So when I moved in, it was just her living there, and I saw that her son and I believe like I think it was a daughter-in-law that would come over and visit and check in on her because this woman was like near 100. And oh my gosh, one day she I don't know if I told this story before, but she had uh, there was all this commotion going on outside, and there was all these trucks, and I saw pest control and all these different people coming, and I thought, oh god, what's going on? And well, apparently she had, like, I don't know, 20 or so, I don't know, 15 or 20 maybe, skunks
Hmm.
living underneath her house, and
Wow.
she was feeding them. Yeah, she was feeding them. And so finally they were basically taking over, they were everywhere. She said they were like getting in the house, and they were in the garage, and they were everywhere. So uh and they basically said, you have to stop, you need to stop feeding them. You can't be feeding them because this is what's going to happen. They're going to come in your house and take over everything. But she was just the sweetest little old lady. She didn't quite understand, and she was probably lonely and thought they were cute, and but I was surprised that her kids didn't stop her from, doing that. But
Oh, I'm sure they had some uncomfortable conversations about it.
yeah, they may have. And then before you knew it, and so when she was telling me, she's like, "Oh, there's like 15 skunks living under my house." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And so I think they sat traps up, uh and I think they moved them somewhere else, which a lot of them, that's what they'll do. They're not going to go in and, kill them or anything. They'll move them. I would rather that happen. Move them to an empty field or somewhere.
Yeah, it's really not their fault. I mean, they're going for
No,
where the food's at, so you can't blame them
exactly.
for that.
Yeah. I mean, even me, when I had little field mice that had gotten in, and they're so cute. They're really tiny. They're teeny, teeny little itty bitty things, and they're so cute. And like, I didn't want to do anything bad to them. No. So I trapped them, and then I released them somewhere where they can run off and have a party somewhere else, but just not in my house.
Right.
But I didn't want to do anything bad to them, so I would rather something like that happen to them. Because no, it's not their fault. They have to live too, just like the rest of us. I mean, but I don't want them living with me. But
We always had raccoons and possums in the backyard, and Dad kind of encouraged the raccoons, and the possums were like the scavengers after the raccoons got what they got. But yeah, one day they were up in our porch roof, and we heard rustling. So I take this broom and I kind of move one of the boards, slide the boards because we were going to take that off and fix it anyway. So one of the boards just slid. And there's two little babies in a corner,
mm.
and they're just holding on for dear life, like, oh crap, we got caught. And Mom is just looking at me like, go ahead. I dare you to come up here. Like, no, you're good. We just want to know what's up there.
Oh, and I think possums are so cute, Evelyn. But oh, that's so sweet though. They were just holding on. But what happened to them?
I left it open because I figured leaving that open, they're going to get up there anyway. I didn't want them to damage anything else. They would climb up there. Basically, they were using it to get to the house next door.
Mm,
'Cause there was a tree between the two homes,
right.
and they were getting into. One day, we're outside. I think we're in the backyard, and all of a sudden, we hear the woman next door scream. Well, they had gone underneath the roof part of their house. They crossed over and got into there and had been digging and got through the wall or the ceiling into their bedroom.
Oh my.
So here's mama and two babies dropping down saying hi. I think from what I
Oh.
heard her partner say was that she was in the middle of getting dressed and was running around the house screaming like a banshee. And I can attest to that because we all heard it in the neighborhood.
I don't blame her. I would have been too. I would have
She
been
was
too.
she was done.
Yeah, I would have been too. Yeah,
So
one time, years ago, probably early '90s, I think, a possum had shown up in my backyard, a baby possum, and I didn't know what to do. I remember matter of fact, I was just telling Phil about it just, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, that I didn't know what to do. It was a holiday. I remember it was a holiday weekend. Everything was closed. Didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know, so I basically took care of it over the weekend, and then I was able to finally get a hold of a possum rescue. Um, and they took it in, and for years I had kept in touch with them, and they had kept it there, and they had like a children's learning center and like a petting zoo and things like that for kids to come. And so they said that they were going to keep that little baby there, and because I think what happened is probably something happened to its mom, probably.
mhm.
you know but it was so cute. It was so, I mean, to me it was so cute. It was cute as a kitten, if not cuter. So cute.
They're ugly cute.
Yeah, ugly cute. Yeah,
That's how I've always described them.
right. Was I felt it was really cute though, but I remember it was making all this noise and because well, they they sleep a lot during the day and they they become alive at night and it was he was very active at night. I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl at the time. I remember I think I was calling it like Rosie or something and I don't remember what they ended up naming it, but it was really really cute. It was really super cute. And then I remember growing up too, also in some parts of California, um, there's ostriches. Ostriches? Is it? No, 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 not ostriches. Peacocks. There's peacocks, and I don't know if you've ever been around peacocks. Ostriches too. They can be very loud, but peacocks actually sound like a woman screaming.
Wow.
You know,
Mm,
and I
maybe
don't know if
once
you've
I
ever heard
think
that.
at the zoo
Hmm.
they used to
Well,
have them.
they can sound like a lady screaming. And I remember um, growing up, our neighbors had peacocks. I don't even know if it was allowed, but I don't know. It was the 70s and the 80s, and people did all kinds of weird stuff. Hell, we had a pet turtle that I think a friend of our family's took from the desert or something like that and rescued it. And later found out probably they should not have taken that turtle from the desert, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
hi, Silent Lucy. But his name was Herbie. And then we had him for years growing up. We had him for years. A family friend of ours gave him to us, and I think he gave him to us when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And but I named him Herbie after Herbie, the love bug, probably. And uh, I remember though he had hibernated, or what I think he probably did. He hibernated and never came back. Probably because maybe he was sick or old or maybe lost his way. I don't know it, but he never came back. So for years we had Herbie, and then one year he hibernated and never came back. It was sad. I
We
always wondered what happened to him.
Yeah, we found a turtle. Now, this is where people just get weird. And it was in the neighborhood, so I figured maybe some kid took it outside and then just forgot about it. And so this turtle's just wandering the neighborhood. We're not like near a river or body of water or any place. Turtles don't usually exist in the
Right.
neighborhood structure where I grew up. So I found it, and of course I put him. I got a little pool out back, and we're like you know, taking care of it and how do what do you feed a turtle? Try to learn all this stuff. And we put the flyers and start talking to neighbors like, hey, if anyone's missing a turtle, no, it's a tortoise. Well, my dad, it was like maybe we kept it for like a week, hoping someone would come and say, yeah, that's ours. It's our family pet. Well, I wasn't interested in keeping it. I didn't want a turtle as a pet. I wanted a dog. And
Right.
so dad's like, well, we take it down by the river and let it go. Okay. 2 weeks later, neighbors come up. Hey, do you still have that tortoise? The turtle? No, it's a tortoise. I'm like, oh, okay. The thing with the shell? Yeah. No, we don't. We let it go a week ago. Why? Was it yours? Well, yeah, it was our pet. I said we had this discussion. I think we talked to you.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
well, we didn't understand why you were calling it a turtle. We thought it was something.
They didn't realize
Yeah,
that it's basically the same.
yeah. No, they were very strange people. They're come to find out, it's probably a good thing we let it loose because their
Oh.
house. So they lived maybe four houses up and then across the street.
Uh-huh.
One day, all these cars and all these city employees are coming in, and the mom and dad are being taken out. The kids are being taken to children's services, and no one had really paid attention much to what was going on. but their backyard, there was not a spot of grass that was available. It was all trash bags
Oh
filled
my.
with trash.
Oh boy.
And the inside of the house was like an episode of Hoarders.
Oh, that's terrible.
And they found anything you can imagine in that house. Um, yeah.
That's horrible.
So
Yeah, I feel sorry for anyone that's has to be around anything like that.
because we never like none of the kids in the neighborhood ever went down that alley. We always went like up north and out east. We never went like no, we didn't know anyone over there, so we never went down that alley. But now that day we did, and then we saw what we didn't want to see. It was just trash, like a 6 foot privacy fence with trash almost halfway up.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
it's sad. It's sad. I mean, I wouldn't want to live like that, but I've known people that have had parents like that and other relatives that were hoarders. And I think it's really a sad situation.
Yeah, we just went through something like that recently with stuff, and I'm just, man, I guess the signs are there if you see them and you recognize them and you admit to yourself that you see them. But I guess for a long time, no one saw anything.
Right.
Ooh, man, what a mess.
Well, and you don't really want to go to people's homes and say, it's filthy over here and things like that. And, I mean, because I think a lot of people would be very protective of their home, where they live, and they wouldn't want
Hmm.
somebody, if somebody came, if somebody came in my house and said, oh, blah, blah, I'd probably, wouldn't like that very much. If somebody, I mean, not that there would be anything bad for them to say, but if they have, I mean, I would probably be uh, get my feelings hurt by that maybe. So I don't know. It's just a touchy subject. I think you don't just want to go over to, Aunt Edna's house and say, it's a mess in here and it's filthy or whatever. And even some people even get offended if you go to their house and try to clean. Some people are offended by that.
Well, no one was allowed to go over.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was always him coming out
Oh wow.
and going places, so no one really knew. So it was
So
like
yeah. Well then
no
that's nobody's fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
no opportunity to know. But man, somebody was busy in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I they've been busy for the last 10
Yeah,
years?
like buying a lot of shit, like
Yeah,
compulsive shopping and whatnot. It was just pretty sad,
yeah, and I
especially when
think
you know someone differently from the past, and then you realize
right.
they had some issues, and you have to go clean that up.
I mean, not that I wanna get into talking about, but I kinda feel like it probably is a somewhat of a mental illness type of a thing too. I'm not quite sure, but, it's just sad. It's just really, really sad that, um those things happen. And I know I've seen and I've watched the show, and like I said, I've known family members who have had some issues with that sort of stuff. And sometimes it's buying sometimes it's buying uh, a lot of stuff online, doing a lot of online shopping. Well, am I
Yep.
not good enough, Silent Lucy? You need Vigilum? Am I not good enough? I'm just kidding. Um, uh, let's see. Sometimes, yeah, it's like doing a lot of like, QVC and those kind of things. Or sometimes I think it's like even just food. Like they buy like a bunch of like fast food type things. So I
Yeah.
don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's like a combination of both, maybe. I don't
A lot
know.
of repetitive buying, like
Hmm.
multiples of things. And of course, this was taking place during COVID, like the last few years was taking place during COVID. So imagine all the packages and boxes of stuff. And when I watch the Hoarder show, I have to clean because no matter how much there's a difference between my house and their house, I feel the urge to clean.
Right. Yeah, I probably would, yeah, if I was at somebody's house like that, I would probably, need to come home and do some cleaning probably. Um, and I do like things nice and neat and tidy, but so that's why I kind of think, I feel that it's really sad people that are uh, living like that. It really does make me really sad for them.
But on the other hand, the people that are really organized and are OCD about it to where it's like an issue for them, that too is also like I know a lot of people, friends and family that are so OCD that they can't even have people over because someone
Right.
might move something and then they're so fixated on where that thing is that they're just not sociable and they're not fun to be around.
Right. Yeah. I know. Even for me, it's hard for me to even relax too when people come to my home because um, I feel like I want to like be waiting on them and which I guess in a way is normal. People do that when people come to their homes, but I almost feel like it's excessive with me. It's like to the point where sometimes I can't really relax and enjoy having company because I feel like I have to like, oh, do you have everything you need? Do you want this? Do you want, I probably drive other people crazy too
Exactly.
because I'm driving myself crazy. So I must be driving them crazy too.
I've been over hosted before. Like the host kind of like hangs over you, like, is everything good? Do you need, do you need anything? I'm like they're almost like treating this like a restaurant as opposed to like, let's sit down and catch up or, let's sit down and talk. And they're just busy, like, doing the hospitality thing. It's like, no, I came to see you. I don't really care if, I'm here for you right now. Let's sit down and talk.
Yeah. You want to listen to him snoring, Silent Lucy? Silent Lucy wants to hear Phil snoring.
Does it, does it sound like okay, so the thing is like the sawing of logs,
Mm-hmm.
or does it sound like something's falling, like a skyscraper? What else? There's a primal animal coming out of a cave. I was always told my daddy sounded like he was like part bear, waking up from hibernation when he snored.
Um, to be honest, most nights I don't even hear it really. But he does snore. He does snore, yeah, for sure. But I don't think he snores like steadily. Like some people just snore, steadily, just keep, snoring. I think he's one of these ones that, snore, 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 nothing. And then maybe a half hour later, maybe snore, snore, snore some more, and then nothing for like an hour and a half. And then like snore a little more, and then like nothing, It's not a sense, one long, you know.
Yeah, there's cassette recorders. I used to have one of those, and my dad would swear he goes, "I don't snore." And my mom and I are looking like, uh, "Okay, whatever you're doing sounds like you're snoring." So I go, "I'll record you one night. Well, you won't get anything on that tape." Oh, we got a lot on that tape. I played it for him the next morning. He goes, "Is that me?" I said, "Yeah, that's you, dude." He's like, "I don't think that's healthy."
Probably not. It might be like a sleep apnea or something, maybe, right? I don't know.
And then, well, he stopped smoking,
Mm, yeah.
and then he retired, and then he didn't snore as much, but he would
Wow.
talk in his sleep.
Oh,
That was the funny part. That was hilarious.
Phil talks in his sleep too. Yeah, Phil does too. I talk
I
in my
only do
sleep
it.
too, though.
I don't do it regularly, but like when I've taken like muscle relaxers or pain medication, you could probably ask me something when I'm half asleep, and you'll find out the truth about something.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I'm just like, yeah, hey, how you going? I'm real talkative. Like, I'll go up to my son. I'm like, how you doing? Is everything good? He's like, Dad, could you take a muscle relaxer? Yeah, yeah, I'm good. Are you good? Anything I can do for you? He goes, no, just go lay down.
That's funny. Yeah, it's funny though, because Phil and I both talk in our sleep, and I probably should record it because I'm wondering if we ever like our conversations ever kind of like mesh together, and like he's asking something and I answer him, and I'm wondering if that happens. But I do know that
Yep.
he does talk in his sleep, and I do too, because sometimes I'll wake myself up talking.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, like I'll be like thinking something, and then and then all of a sudden I'll just say it. Like it might even just be a word. It could just be maybe a word that I like yell out,
Yeah, I've heard
you
people
know,
do that.
or it could be, a whole conversation that I could be having. But yeah, I should I should record to see that if like, I'll say something in my sleep and then he'll say something that goes along with it. That would be funny.
You guys are so close and so connected. You talk in your sleep to each other. That's
Exactly.
hilarious.
But yeah, I and I don't think I've ever shared this, but Phil knows. I walk in my sleep, which is actually kind of dangerous, really. Uh, but I do. I get up and I walk in my sleep, so and that's bad.
Have
But
you ever hurt yourself doing it?
yes, I have
Okay, because I always hear about people walking in their sleep, and then
recently.
they're like, and I woke up and I was in back in my bed, but I remember going to the refrigerator. They remember it,
Hmm.
but I always wondered like someone's got to hurt themselves. Like
Yeah.
if you
Well,
just
I
take
think
off and
Phil shared something with you recently that happened to me.
yeah, he did. I
And
didn't know it was that.
we're pretty sure that's what it was. We're pretty sure, and I'm probably gonna have to mention it to my doctor again. But yeah, it's pretty dangerous. I mean, that could have been really bad. I know I told Phil that I worry that I could go right out the front door and go out into go out into traffic or something. I don't know. You know, hopefully that never happens. But I don't know if anybody else has a problem with walking in their sleep. Uh, I didn't start doing it until like the last, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe the last, off and on, maybe for the last 15, 16 years, maybe I've been doing it. But, and there's periods where it gets worse. And then there's periods where I don't do it at all, you know? But the other night I got up and I went into the kitchen and I stood at the counter and I was looking out the window. I remember things. I was looking out the window and I felt both of my legs like almost like give out on me, and it woke me up.
Wow.
So then I had turned and went to the other side of the counter by the stove, and well, it happened again, and this time I fell completely backwards and hit my head on the counter, and then I fell to the side, and then thank goodness Phil heard me scream, because it woke me. Obviously, when that happens to you, it woke me up out of my sleep, and but it was scary. It was scary for a little bit.
I had an ex-girlfriend that would sleep clean, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And she must have been, I don't know if you consider this sleepwalking, sleep working, sleep whatever. She wasn't all there. Like she was like asleep,
Uh huh.
but she was functionally cleaning and straightening up the house. And she said that she goes, I did it once in my childhood, but I don't think I've ever done it again. We were talking about this kind of stuff. And 2 weeks later, she gets up, she puts on like her slippers, and she walks down the hallway, and you can see her picking stuff up, putting it in the hamper, straightening up the kitchen. I'm like watching her. I thought she was awake. So I go in and talk to her, and she's not responding at all. She turns around. Her eyes are maybe barely open,
Hmm.
completely dark, and just going around straightening stuff up, pushing in chairs from the table, doing all this little small work. I'm like,
Well,
I grabbed her. I said, "Are you okay?" And she wakes up and she goes, "What? I was sleeping." Then she looks around. She goes, "Oh, it happened again."
yeah,
Like,
it's
what do you mean?
dangerous. It could be very dangerous though, because like I go in the because this isn't the first time. Well, this is the first time that has happened in a long time. But that what what he told you happened and what I just said happened.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since something like that has happened. But but I can't tell you how many times I've gotten up in my sleep, go into the kitchen, and I'll cook, and he'll come out, and I've left the stove on, or I've left the oven on, or I've left, yeah. So I'm like doing weird stuff like that in my sleep. So um, it it could be dangerous. So if anybody has that problem, I would definitely go and talk to a doctor about it, because I'm definitely going to be talking to my doctor more about it, because it's dangerous. And, you can get in your car and go driving, or something like that. I mean, it's not. I'm laughing kind of, but it's not really funny. Um, it's really
Yeah,
kind of
it's funny
scary.
now. You can laugh at it because nothing serious is, like you haven't gone taken off in the car or walked down the street or.
No, no. I've not done anything like that. But I think that Phil didn't realize that, I think it scared him. Because, he looked really scared when he came and found me like that. I mean, he was, scared, probably not like, but like concerned, really concerned about, what had happened. And, cause that was the first time, uh, since I've been with him, that this sort of thing has happened like that. And, but then I think it got him thinking, because I was telling him, I can go and get in my car and drive off, or, go out, what's going to stop me from going out the front door, or the back door, or whatever, and going, out into the street. So, but I will definitely talk to my doctor about it. But I mean, I'm not like terribly concerned, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose sleep over, that I'm going to, I have to stay up and not go to sleep, because I'm worried if I go to sleep, I'll get up and walk around. But it is a concern, you know.
See, that's life because when you want to go somewhere, you can't find your keys. But when you're sleepwalking out to the car, you can always find your keys and get in there and start it up really. It's so weird how life happens. I just,
Mm,
I would be able to find everything if I was a sleepwalker. I'd know where
yeah.
my wallet was. I'd have my keys. I'd have my phone. I mean, I might not be dressed wonderful, but I might have like, a polo shirt and then, sweats on with some, weird ass shoes, but I'll be safe. I would be the weird, strange sleepwalker on all these TikTok and YouTube videos. And of course, people would just record me and not actually help me until it was like I'm right at the door. But yeah, that would be entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my keys could be hidden or something. I mean, I don't want to hide them, because, I if I'm the one that hid them, then I would find them, right?
Hmm. You just hand them, Phil, hide these somewhere. What do you mean? Just hide them.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not really worried that that's going to happen. I mean, I'm wondering if anyone else has ever had that sort of experience or whatever, or if anybody is experiencing that. I hope you go and talk to your doctor about it, because I just would worry about somebody, yeah, getting in their car. I mean, it almost reminded me of like, you remember when Ambien came out? Ambien.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I remember I had, um, my doctor started me on that, like right after I think it had become available, because I've never been a real good sleeper. Um, I guess I sleep better when I'm walking. I guess I'm a better sleepwalker, bed sleeper. Um, but I remember my doctor put me on that, and I remember them saying, like, I remember all the commercials and the ads, and people were saying, like, people were going through like drive-throughs at Taco Bell and waking up and surrounded by, Taco Bell wrappers and bags, and nothing like that ever happened to me. But I would walk. I remember I would walk around uh, a little bit with that too, and so I'm almost wondering if it was kind of like the same thing like what I'm going through now, but I don't remember ever falling. I never fell or anything like that, but I remember I would just get up and do a little bit of walking, in my sleep.
Hmm.
So, um, but nothing like yeah, nothing like what's been happening now, and honestly, I told Phil, I said, "I'm surprised this hasn't happened to me, months and months and months ago, I'm surprised." So, but, yeah, it was just weird. It was really weird, and I'm glad that I wasn't, hurt any more than I was, um, but it just makes me wonder if other people, and it just makes me wonder, like, why I'm doing that, why do people do that? Um, is it medication that's causing it? Is it something else causing it? Is it just something within my body that's causing it? Um, it's hard to tell.
The weirdest thing that I do in my sleep is if there's a conversation happening around me,
Mhm.
somehow my brain records it, and then when I get up, it plays back in my head, and I'm like, so like my son will now he knows that it happened, so my son will intentionally say things like, I ate Dad's ice cream, and then I get up and I'm like, why'd you eat my ice cream? He goes, and before they were like, weren't you asleep when that happened? I said, yeah, but my body's like a DVR, so my brain's like, record that and we'll play it back later, and then we'll have a conversation. He's like, you can't do that. I said, what? You can't talk about me when I'm asleep now? Is that the real problem?
Yeah, that's funny. I don't think I remember anything when I'm sleeping. I'm trying to think. Like I know some people start thinking, they hear the TV if the TV's on or something, and then maybe whatever's going on the TV starts becoming like part of their dream. And I mean, I
Yeah,
suppose this kind of things could happen. Yeah.
I've done that, or something I'm listening to, like a book or a podcast.
Right.
Somehow I'll dream that, and something I something that happened in real life, and they'll like merge together. I'm like, this is so strange. I remember this the next morning.
Hmm. Yeah, that is strange, isn't it? I'm so happy you came up to talk to me.
Yeah, it was nice. It's
I
nice.
know.
It's
I know. We'll have to
I
do
was
this again.
yeah, I was being stalked today, going everywhere. Someone was always following me. I don't want to name names, but yeah, she's still here. But hmm yeah, you
We'll
should
have
go live
to.
more often, at least once a week. That'd be
I
cool.
will. I'm going to. I know. I think I'm probably going to get ready to end this, but I'm so happy that you came up to talk to me. Thank you.
No problem.
I
I
appreciate
can't
it.
believe Sleepyhead's still asleep.
I know. And I may go live again a little bit later. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but maybe. But thank you everyone that came in and chatted. And thank you, Jeff, for coming up and talking. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I
Hope you
hope
have a good day.
everyone I hope everyone has a really lovely day.
Alrighty, we'll see ya.
I'll see ya. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Bye everyone.